Hello and welcome to some Hearts of Iron 4. I'm going to be playing with all DLC in the vanilla version of the game as Poland. Now my plan as Poland here with Iron Man mode and historical AI focuses is to survive. Yes, survive. It's going to be hard, but I have done it before once in a private campaign, but that was a couple of years ago. There's been lots of DLC and such since. I do intend to go democratic. I thought about both fascism and communism and unaligned, but I think that democratic is the way I want to go with this campaign, not for any strategical reasons, just because I want to go democratic, really. I haven't done a democratic campaign in forever, really. Anyway, let's get this army straight to work here. Let's get you into two different forces and have both of you join up with this gentleman here. So we want an army group 1. Alright, this guy is the hat, but let's have a look. We've got offensive doctrine, max planning, defensive doctrine. Well, it's going to have to be this individual, I'm afraid. And then we can have an army either side of the area there. Panzer and no one else. Trickster, 4 planner, offensive doctrine, okay. So let's just get 2 level 4 guys. I like my armies to have good colour schemes. We are Poland, so let's go for the pinkish red there. And then let's go with the armies. We'll have army group red. Number 1 and army group white. Number 2. Excellent. Well, for now we'll just stick these gentlemen on the border. I think you have much more risk of this front going than the other. But what I did when I played in private is I had my army along this here border. It was much more easy to defend. So let's actually just stick a full back line along that sort of area. Now it does include Warsaw, unfortunately. A little bit less easy to defend. Yeah, something like that. And I had this army more along this sort of region to try and take over the area here. That's how I did it. But this, we're talking many, many years ago now. The game's been out quite a while. It's crazy to think sometimes how long this game has actually been out now. Excellent. Yeah, just something like that. It would be nice to hold on to Danzig. We have a few people there, but whatever. This is just in case anything were to happen. I'm not sure it will. Anyway, 3 dockyards. Let's get this 1 dockyard to maybe build us convoys. It's not really useful to us at all, but convoys, sure. If we get any more, they can do the same job there. And we want some weaponry, so let's try and get a fair few guns being made. Mostly guns, just for now. Load of guns, yes. And then after we have all of those, let's try and get some support equipment and some planes. That's a pretty good idea. We don't need tanks or artillery just yet, because we don't have the means to really produce enough, as far as I'm aware. Very, very low on factories. Strength from the Polish state, political power, recruitable population. Oh, I like the sound of that. Or defensive focus, where you get construction speeds and the like. I would like to have some people here. Revoltism, generate war goal, attention limits, between the seas concept, create faction, meds and more. That could be very useful later on. I think at first the idea to go with would be to have the Allies as our friends. Prepare for the next war. This will give us a bonus for land doctrine, land doctrine, land doctrine. The 4-year plan, this gives us that. Infrastructure, national defense, factories, okay. And then this will give us industry, factories, infrastructure. I'm not sure. Maybe go with strengthen the Polish state first, and then we'll see from there. Research, I would like some better weaponry to keep our men alive in the front lines. I would go for basic machinery tools and for construction. Now with our civilian factories, I can either get straight to work on defending these areas, or I could try and get some more factories here. We only have 8 super good factories, but I'm sure we'll get more as we go through the laws to get rid of that sort of thing. I'm not sure. Let's try and build 1. See how long that would take. July this year. Well, that's just over half a year. Okay. Well, in that case, let's try and build 2 of those over a year. And then what I want is some land fortifications in places like Sieg. Torun. Plock. This place. This is part of it, yes. That place. Of course, Warsaw. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's not what I'm trying to do. Across here, and then across here, back over the river a little bit more. Only level 1's down this way until we're able to get everywhere fixed up again. Hopefully we don't lose a sort of border along here, because then we'd be just trying to defend in here. I'm sure that's what I ended up having to do, just defending a little area around here like that. But for now we will try and... Actually, yeah, let's scrap the last few factories along here. We'll keep that, but we'll delete all these other ones. Excellent. Well, let's check out what resources we need. A bit of rubber for the planes, so we're not going to worry about that too much. I'd rather have my factories building my other factories than prioritizing a little bit of rubber. Okay, intelligence agency. We could create an agency. I'm not sure what that would do to help me right now. I've not played terribly much since the unveiling of that DLC. So let's just start going ahead here. Do I have an air force? I do just about have an air force. We have some fighters, and close air support. Well, let's have them. Let's have you guys join this gentleman. No, not send you out just yet. Have you guys join this gentleman. We don't need to be using up our fuel. That would cost us greatly if we were to have you using up all our fuel. What are all these mass gatherings? Has nobody told them about social distancing? Well, I'm doing my part. I am making sure there's a good bit of distance between me and the German militaries. I don't know what would be better, Krakow or the river. Maybe you can just do both. Hold Krakow and Katowice, how it would be pronounced, and then fall back over the river. I'm not sure. Because that's a lot smaller than the one over here. It's a shame that Warsaw is on this side of the bank and not that side of the bank, because that would help out an awful lot when it comes to the defensive bonus of the city. But alas, it is not. Warsaw did not plan on World War II ever happening. Or at least they didn't plan on Germany being the bad sport. A bit more of a Russian side they are defensive against. But oh well. Excellent. So manpower is currently a little bit low. I'm hoping that we will be able to get it up before anything sort of kicks off. Now we got raids here and such. Reform the Commonwealth. Oh, so we need to hold quite a lot of land, but it doesn't tell me what I do and don't have. So it's all Lithuanian states. Okay. So you want me to have Lithuania? I could maybe try and go for that. We could not justify war goal. Okay, never mind. We probably wouldn't be able to get over there. Unless we had a few spare troops we could send up into that direction, but I am not entirely sure about that. For now, I'm going to concentrate on having my men armed, as opposed to having more divisions on the field. These guys really aren't spreading out that well, are they? But oh well. Construction is progressing. It's all well and dandy. Promises of peace, anti-fascist raids. None of this is going to help us out anytime soon. Insufficient resources as usual. That's okay. First thing I'm going to go for is probably an advisor, and probably this advisor, Mieczysław Michałowicz. I do not know how to pronounce in Polish. I'm giving it my bestest of go. But how close am I here with Mieczysław Michałowicz? How close is that? I hope it's relatively close. Anyway, we do now have the points, so let's go ahead and get this man over here to be a daily democratic supporter. A firm believer in the people's right to rule themselves, this politician sees empowering them as the first priority and aims for the country to be ruled by with their mandate. Alright, good old chap, welcome aboard. Although I could potentially try to change some of these laws first before turning, but it's going to take quite a while to actually turn. Defensive focus, which grants military factory construction speed, land fort construction speed. I like the idea of the fortress construction speed, and I can get both. So I'm going to go for that first. It's going to be quite a while until we are done with these factories, but then we will start to plough through these, I'm sure. And that will be my biggest concern, is getting these areas shored up. There's no need to build anything over here, because you guys, you might be my sacrifice. We might just have to let you gentlemen over here go. If I can whole plot though, it's only Lutz and Poznan I'm really throwing away. Oh, of course, Kilis and Katowice and Krakow probably. So it'd probably be smarter to hold that area as long as we can. But we'll see where we are able to prioritize when a war is to happen. We will see. I'm not sure what the Danzig trade involves. Do I give them Danzig and Poznan and they give me these areas? If so, I would be happy to do that sort of trade, but I'm not sure that Germany would actually give me these lands. They might just let me survive, in which case their forces will no longer be cut in half, and we'll have a big risky area on this side trying to push up. Whereas if I just go to war in the first place, I can try to claim this a lot easier with the forces we have. Ethiopia has capitulated, has it? Oh, good for them. Let's also have you guys on full speed here if we do want to try and get straight up into there. And also we should perhaps have your line go around like that. So there are men in between this line and this line uniting. Yes, we will need a few more extra forces. Alright, let's try and do this. You are all the way along there, yes? Can I get out of this? Yeah, that's the entire region, so we don't need to worry about Katowice. It's a nice bit of metal and such, but I'd rather have my line as short as possible so we can bulk protect it. Use the river as much as we can. Second London Naval Treaty signed. More money for the army, eh? More money indeed. These factories are coming along very nicely, and we have basic machine tools now. That will help us out a fair bit. Let's go for dispersed industry here. And let's go for these extra machine tools. I would like even more stuff. I'm sure it'll help us out a ton. I do have this navy still, but there's no use having them. Do we even have an admiral? We don't even have an admiral. Could get one. Jakub Kowaleski. Welcome aboard. I am not sure you're going to be useful at all. So just hang out over there, I suppose. I mean, you could try and slow down any sort of German force. Let's not do that. Where's the button? Here it is. We want you to convoy raid in that region alone. And you'll just get immediately destroyed, but you might be able to delay reinforcements landing in this area for a little bit while we do try to push forth. And then we want all of these white dudes to move over to this line here. Defensive focus, very good. Let's now concentrate on getting a bit more of this. Recruitable population, war support, damage to garrisons, minus 10%, that sort of thing. It all seems quite nice. And some experience, so we could edit up our units here to give them a bit more oomph. Engineer companies, support, artillery sort of thing, but we don't currently have enough support equipment to be able to support that. But we'll see how it all goes. Excellent. The world should go as it usually does. This is simply the pre-chosen positions. I really don't recall the dates of when things happen. I think it's late 39 or is it 38 that the war starts. I really should know by now the amount of time I've played this game. It's just been a bit of a while since I've really been involved with World War II. I've been more involved in more modern things at the moment. What have we got here? Extra construction. I agree. Let's get it going. One of our extra factories is just built. I'm not sure where it is. It does not appear to be here. Maybe it's gone to the consumer goods. That's a shame. I would want my factories personally. We may try and get some with this economy though. Well, we are going to try and get some. We may get some is what I'm trying to say here. Excellent. We go for partial mobilization, which will get us all the way down from 35 to 25. Excellent. Let's do it. Partial mobilization indeed. Mobilize the men at once. I guess there's an extra 3 factories here, which is going to help a lot in the building up here. Let's also get all of you to a level 2, because I'm sure you will be in use at some point. We'll have to try and build along here. If we do get surrounded, we're going to want to build along here and then around here as well, to try and hold this somewhat of a circle. That should be enough to hold us these areas. Especially if we can hold that. Not sure how easy it is. Particularly, it has been a fair while since I have played this before. 7,800 guns in deficit. We barely have this line. Man, there's only one person per. Oh, there's one double up here, and of course Danzig. We want to have as many forces as we can here to try and really push into Königsberg to get this out of my concern. Have it gone, completely gone. I don't want to have to worry about this area. Oh, the Spanish Civil War has kicked off. Good for them. I hope they sort it out, settle their differences in a timely manner. Hopefully the anti-fascists, as Germany here is going to be our biggest concern. Polish militarism. Very good. Revanchism will give us war support. War goal tension, justify war goal time. Poland first gives us stability. Internationalism doesn't seem too useful here, so what we're going to do is check out somewhere else. Prepare for the next war, and then there's defense here, but these are doctrines. Ooh. Ooh. Danzig gets fortified as heck if we go down here, or we gain a load of factories. Fortifications are useful, but we are building them anyway. But if we get factories, we're only going to be using the factories on fortifications anyway. But I would have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's going to be 70 times 5, so 2, 8, 440. 440 days. Oh, okay, well, let's go through with it then. I hope my maths wasn't wrong there. I hope it wasn't wrong. Otherwise, I'm going to look like quite the fool. But oh well. I'm sure it'll be. I'm sure it'll be at least close. Insufficient rubber. Still, well, that's not really surprising. Prepare for a civil war. Democracy on the rise. Let's not bring about democracy through a civil war. Let's just have it open up a bit easier. We'll not go for anti-democratic raids. We must turn the country peacefully. So we'll just let him do whatever it is he does, and we'll slowly open up discourse and what have you. The Games of the Olympiad. Where do we come? It doesn't appear that we did anything here. Well, great. The games are concluded. Why would you not tell us what we did? Did Poland generally not do anything in these Olympics? It would have been nice to let us know if Poland historically won a few medals or whatever. It can't be that hard to research. Every country just says, your country gained this many medals or whatever. Like, yeah, learn about Jesse Owens every time. It's all well and good. The guy won 4 medals, but I want to know about the country I'm playing here. Germany won. Great. It's good to know that Germany won. But what about my own Olympians? Right. Well, let's end the episode here. And when you come back, we'll continue with our preparations. We are actually going to open up political discourse, though. We must open up the acceptance of diverging viewpoints in the government. Perhaps this will eventually make it possible to effect a peaceful change in the politics of our nation. A lot of modern nations could use this. All this cancel culture and rioting every time something they disagree with. That really needs to be. They really need to open up some political discourse. Those types of people. But anyway, thank you for watching this episode. We are done here. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.